is people, power, and politics. Welcome back to Detroit's only nightly political talk show, The Pulse. Well, U.S.-China relations are on edge like never before. The trade fight flared up again after China took stronger control over rare earth minerals. President Trump responded with new tariff threats, but seemed to pull back over the weekend. He is set to meet with President Xi Jinping over the weekend, or this weekend, and says if they can't strike a deal, tariffs could jump as high as 155%. Meanwhile, automakers are getting some relief with a new rebate or credit on auto parts. The rebate is just under 4% for domestically made cars and will also apply to truck and engine makers. We're told this comes as new tariffs on imported trucks and buses kick in, though they don't affect imports covered by the USMCA trade deal. At the same time, car buyers are spending more than ever. Kelley Blue Book says that the average price last month hit more than $50,000, a new record. So what will this mean for consumers? Former auto supply chain executive and host of the Automotive Leaders Podcast, Jan Griffiths, is here. And payment, we heard what average car it was $750 a month. I mean, it's outrageous.
It's insane.
So when you look at all these numbers, let's start here with this credit. Let's say if you get a vehicle made here or put together here, assembled here, is that a good thing? Is that really going to make much of a difference?
It's going to help the automakers somewhat. It's extending a little bit of the tariff relief that President Trump had put in place a while ago. But the big question is, how will this impact consumers? And right now, the automakers are feeling an incredible amount of pain because of the tariffs. They have been taking actions like removing incentives, doing everything they can to avoid increasing the price to the consumer. But they cannot hold off much longer. Right. It's coming. It's coming in slowly, but it's coming.
Yeah, because this has been going on for so many months. So a lot of people bought the inventory up and made as much as they could with the parts they had. But now it's in new territory, and it's going to have to be passed down to the consumers sooner or later.
It is. And then complicating things even more is the EV credit, the tax credit. That has now gone away. We know that tax credit, the $7,500 tax credit, that will boost sales in September. Because anybody who wanted to buy an EV, if you were on the fence, you knew that tax credit was going away. So you
I know people who did it.
Right?
Yeah, definitely.
So the numbers are going to be inflated for September. But now, the EV sales are going to drop. Jim Farley has commented that he sees a significant drop in EV sales. He's projecting for the rest of the year.
Well, what about these rare earth minerals, though? We see that going on with the Chinese president. And I mean, do we have time to build alternative supply sources to make this happen? Or are we going to have to come up with a deal?
That is an excellent question. So today was a significant moment in terms of the trade talks. We saw President Trump making an agreement with the Australian Prime Minister. Again, this agreement is a framework agreement, but it is significant investment by both countries to increase rare mineral production. But there's two parts to this. There's mining the rare earth mineral, and then there's processing it. Now, Australia is the second largest producer in terms of mining, but most of the processing they have done in China.
Okay.
The China processes over 97% of global supply.
But this, looking at the big picture, though, it just shows that Australia is our ally. And we were looking for allies in this. And that's going to create some leverage when it comes to this deal with China.
You are absolutely right. And what I love about this deal is it's two countries, two parties sitting down together to come up with something that truly is a win-win for both sides. It's a positive for both sides. And yes, it does improve our leverage with China. But this kind of production is going to take at least 3 years.
Oh, and that's a lot. I mean, in the meantime, though, what are we going to see in terms of putting these products together using these rare earth minerals? I mean, for people that don't know, we're talking about like the chip, things that go into a lot of the electronics, the EVs, that could force the price to go up. So are we going to, where do we see this deal going eventually? And do you believe President Trump when he said this is going to be fantastic with the president of China?
It depends how you interpret the word fantastic. Look, we all want certainty. The business community, consumers, all of us. We want this to be done. We want the deal to be done. So let's get it done. Let's put everything on the table. Fentanyl, rare rare earth minerals, technology, semiconductors, soybeans.
Yeah.
Let's put it all on the table and get the deal done and move forward. We cannot go into another extension of 90 days.
No, and it feels like for the average person, though, that, they can't afford all of this. The business owners, the dealerships, the automakers, the car buyers. I mean, yes, everybody wants things made here. You can't argue that, but it takes time. Is it too much too fast?
Is it too much too fast? Possibly. I love the effort and the commitment to bring manufacturing back to the U.S. I mean, who doesn't love that?
Right.
But when you're talking about global trading partners, these are deals and relationships that you have to be very careful with. They have to be very well thought out and executed. And that's why I love this Australia deal today, because it's two parties coming together, win-win deal, getting the deal done. It's still a framework.
Simply put, though, Jan, what will that do for us here?
It will help us, it will help give us leverage against China. And it will help give us an ally in the
Somewhere
West.
else to get it.
To get it, yeah.
Okay. So where do you see this going? Could we see, though, potentially 155% tax on our products here?
It's possible. It is possible.
It's scary.
Even President Trump has said that it's unrealistic. But it's possible. We need people who can really make a deal and not play this tit-for-tat power game style of negotiation. This isn't a one-time thing where you're negotiating for a building or a product. These are long-term relationships. It requires a different type of negotiation approach. The meeting is set for October 31st and November 1st. That's the next step in the process. Okay. November 3rd, the Supreme Court hears arguments about whether or not, November 5th, Supreme Court hears arguments about whether or not President Trump's tariffs are legal. And then November 10th is when the actual 90 days runs out with the second day pause with China.
So all of this is going to come to fruition really at the same time, and we will know where we're going as a country.
Bottom line is November, the first 2 weeks of November is a critical time, yes.
Okay, well, Jan, thank you for simply stating this all for us and making us understand this very complicated issue with a lot of, I think, long-term impact, really. So thank you for that, and we'll have to see what happens with time.